In the month of February, Asmodeus asked if he could water my garden, okay? He asked could he water my garden, provided that I would take a plan B afterwards. When we consummated our relationship back in October, it was arranged. We had many conversations about that. Please do not ask me why I was so careless and stupid. I don't know. You have young moments. You do things that you know you're not supposed to. But when we consummated our relationship, he had also asked that particular night that he water my garden, provided I take a plan B afterwards. I was like, okay. I brought the plan B with me to the hotel when we stayed overnight at the Cherry Hill Plaza. Took it, popped it, everything went on, nothing ever happened. So he asked me, could he do it again? And this happened sometime in February. So he watered my garden, and this was something that I don't know what it does for a man to do this, but I don't know. Maybe it's marking your territory, maybe it's a sexual fetish thing. I don't know. But I was like, oh yeah, sure, whatever. Plus our relationship was on the rocks because he self-created issues that didn't exist. So I just didn't want him to be mad and angry and yell and holler and call me all types of names. So I was just like, whatever makes you happy. It's a simple, easy fix. Yes. He watered my garden, and together we went to Walgreens in Pennsauken and got my plan B. I want to say 48 hours later after the watering of my garden, because it says 72-hour window. However, the effectiveness of it varies. So we went and got it. I paid for it, popped it, drank water, life went on. March 27th, I had gone to an appointment, and when I went to this appointment, I found out I was pregnant there. They tested me. I found out I was pregnant. And I wasn't there to test for pregnancy. I had gotten my cycle 2 weeks prior. And when they came and told me, my heart sank and dropped. And I knew at that very moment, my relationship was going to be over. I knew it was over. I knew it was over. I knew at that moment when they told me what I was gonna do, I knew how I felt, and I knew what he was going to probably say. So I actually said, hey, can you give me one more? Because I just want to make sure that the test isn't faulty or there's no mix-up. They gave me another one. Seconds later, it was positive. I started hyperventilating so bad that they actually had to give me a brown paper bag, and they were threatening to call 911 for me because I was panicking. So I sent a text over to Asmodeus. He was in class. I sent the photo of the test to him, and I was like, we have a problem. So once I left and I was heading home, he called me and I said, hey, did you get my text message? And he was like, no, why, what's up? And I was like, you're not gonna believe this. And he was like, what, you're pregnant? And I was like, yeah. And because I already had this preconceived notion, just because of how he handled everything else and how he actually just was orchestrating on a regular routine basis now, his new baseline of being a jerk, I had nothing to say. I had nothing to say. And I was just waiting for him to tell me all the things that he had to say. So the first thing that he said, there was no sympathy, no empathy, no nothing. No, nothing in his voice. I understand this is a real situation and this is a real situation. This is life-changing. This is life-altering. I get that. But in that moment, you have one job. One job, no matter what you want the outcome to be. As the man, you should make sure that my mental is in the right space. Not jump down my throat, because now the wheels are turning and they're not going in the direction that you hope that they're going in. He begins by saying, well, that's not part of my plan. That's not part of our plan. And he says, I'm not even done school yet. And he says, you told me you wanted to wait until you got married to have another child. Now, mind you, I haven't told him what my plans are pertaining to this pregnancy at all, but he's already like just going down the list of everything as to why I need to go run into the nearest intersection. He said to me, we agreed. He kept saying, we agreed. And I'm like, we agreed on what? And he said, you told me if you were to get pregnant, you would go to the chop shop. Now, I did say that. It was a random conversation months ago, and it was hypothetical. People say things that they would do in a situation that they've never been in all the time. We see movies and clown the characters and the actors and the actresses and say, if that was me, this is what I would have done. If you got in that situation within the next 5 minutes, that's not what you would have done. So casually in conversation, only one conversation we ever had, but casually in conversation, I was just like, yeah, if I got pregnant right now, I would definitely go to the chop shop. It was a hypothetical situation. I did not think that I had anything to worry about. I'm 36, so I did start to think like this is when the eggs begin to die. You know what I mean? Like I thought it was less fertile, but I also still took that plan B. I was in shock. It was a lot to take in all at once, especially because he was just like going on a whole entire tangent. All I hear you mention is you. You have not yet asked me how I feel, what I'm thinking, how do I feel emotionally, what do I want to do, what am I going to do? Nothing. I just told you something that's going on inside of my body that we did together as two consenting grown adults, and you're telling me all about you. And that's not to say that I would never consider you, but at this moment, when I just found out this sensitive information, I would think that you would actually make the conversation a little bit more about me, because no matter what, no matter how the cookie crumbles, there's something that I myself have to do, whether it's to keep my pregnancy or terminate it. It's still something that has to happen to me and through me. And you're only talking about you, like you have no idea what I'm thinking and what I'm going through at this very moment. And since you haven't before, I can't see that this would be a reason enough for you to start doing it now.